Hey, we're live at Top of the Morning Tuesday, Season 2, Episode 2. We had 6 straight months of Top of the Morning last year and partially this year. Took a little hiatus. Now we're back at Top of the Morning. That's Justin and I. Justin's going to be let in the chat any minute now. We're going to talk about business, talk about our personal life, and hopefully y'all can maybe learn a thing or two about what we've learned through business, and you can get some value out of that. So let's let Justin in and see what we're going to talk about today. What's up, Losco 707? Good morning.
Morning. Top of the morning.
Top.
How we living?
Morning, sir. Oh, we're great. We're super good. What's up, Daily Life Balance? I got a new haircut. Looking fresh.
Yeah, good morning, Losco 707, Daily Life Balance. Good to see y'all as always.
Dude, you're fresh locks. Look at that big old mane up there, dog.
I know, dude. I'm letting it go.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't had a haircut since like January 2020, I believe,
Nice.
or
Full
February.
sending it.
Sending it. Maybe could cut off the dead ends, but just haven't yet.
Dude, I love it. I like that look.
Thank
How'd
you,
those
bro.
questions do, bro? You posted some questions I saw for everybody listening. Justin posted questions in his story asking if anybody has any Top of the Morning Tuesday questions. I thought that was a great idea. We'll probably do in the future and see if anybody responds to us with a random business question. But Justin, did they post a question?
No questions.
0 questions.
That's all right.
Okay.
I probably worded it weirdly. You probably need to give people a topic, Otherwise, it's like I don't even know what to ask. So that's on me. It's on the question asker.
It was a shot in the dark. It was a shot in the dark, and
Exactly.
I still liked it.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, any questions anyone has, just drop them below. We're happy to answer them.
That's right. How's this last week for you? Did you have any wins? Wins or losses?
Let's see. Biggest wins, biggest losses. I would say last week was a little bit slower, but I definitely I think the biggest win is myself and the empath got shouted out on LinkedIn for no reason by Onward Eugene, which is basically they're starting up in Eugene as basically an incubator for a lot of startups, and I got some kind words said about myself and impact, and as much as I talk about beginning within and validating yourself within, it does feel good to get recognized and shouted out. As much as someone could say, oh, these awards and things it feels good. It's also recognition.
Oh, yeah.
It goes to show how hard your work is going, and a lot of the relationships that I've been investing and pouring into are starting to starting to see some fruit, starting to see some partnership opportunities, starting to see impact just grow in interest because of the work we're doing, less so because of, me saying, oh, it's going to be this, it's just like people probably coming in and watching something on, Top of the Morning Tuesday. At the beginning, it might have been like, these guys, what are they talking about? And then, you see our conversations and you see proof in the pudding. And it's just patience. So I do see, I see some momentum starting to build again because I paused, we had the hiatus. I even kind of just took a hiatus from business in general this summer. So, you don't see a lot of results when you're not putting anything in, but then picking up right where I kind of left off from June and actually making it better. And just, I noticed, this as a startup or as a team, anyone, it's as strong as the people in the organization. And I've invested a lot in myself and my ability to lead, and not only lead, but also lead myself. And I think that's really showing for results wise. So I'm excited about that.
Dude, totally. And leading people, you talk about leading, are you leading right now people that you currently are not paying? Or people that impact it's kind of like volunteer-based right now, as of now.
Right. It's volunteer-based right now.
And I think that adds a whole nother type of, item to put in the mix when you have to create incentives and create morale and create team culture when nobody's getting paid yet. And oftentimes at the beginning of startups, that's just how it is. You have to inspire and encourage people to join you, work with you, before getting paid, almost like it's like future thought. Like you get all your strategies and plans. Like if we do all this, we could be getting money in the future. And that sounds silly to maybe someone who's not an entrepreneur, but as an entrepreneur, you just know that you don't make money at first until you reach a certain point. And anybody in your team is going to be, going through that also.
It's 100% storytelling and being able to tell and paint that picture of what is the story that we are creating for the
Hmm.
future. And that's something that I'm still working on. But it's okay, what is the story? Why did we create this? And what is the
Hmm.
story and what do we want to create out of this? And so I think that's where the power comes because I mean if you think about it, a lot of people are really motivated to do things that don't pay them money, whether
Hmm.
it's like they get super involved in a volunteer organization or a political movement, and or they give back to some sort of little league, or they be a mentor. Like there are reasons people do things
Hmm.
for not money. So
Yeah. Uh-huh.
thinking about that, what are the reasons that people want to be a part of this? And actually, I'm looking at finding, either a junior or senior, probably in college, or someone that is looking to get some hands-on intern experience to help me out with
Hmm.
social media and content creation for impact. So that way we can
Yeah.
have someone solely dedicated to creating value through impact because I do my
Hmm.
best, but I would like ideally in an ideal world and create more value content than just being
Yeah.
promotional content. So it's a
Hmm.
little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely different to encourage people that you aren't paying rather than people that you are paying. And like you said, your team is probably going to be there with you or not if they're as inspired as you are for the cause. But a lot of people aren't as inspired as we are for our own cause, and then we got to create ways to get them to show up in the mornings or come through at night for a long night work. And I think what does work is like creating some sort of like ownership or value in them, like so giving people tasks that actually make them feel like they're doing something important. Like you can give somebody
Right.
tasks that are like mundane and pretty boring and not really that, um, difficult or not that fun, I guess you could say. And then you can give somebody other tasks that maybe you like to do that are more engaging and more fun, sending emails or communicating with individuals. And that just feels good. It makes us feel like we're doing something or we're being useful because people want to feel useful. And
Yeah. Oh,
as soon as you give somebody a task and they don't feel useful or they're like, what? Like Justin could have did this. Like this isn't chill. Then they're like, ooh, bad taste, and they want out.
yeah. No, and it's a tough line too, especially because right now we're hiring. And I'm looking at, like I'd rather hire someone I know. And now I get it as someone that is hiring for a position. I'd rather have someone I have a previous established relationship or someone that said
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this person, credibility wise. So I have a lot of applicants from LinkedIn, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to like screen them, and this is my first time kind of going through and doing that because I think culture fit to me is even more important than can they do social media, which I mean obviously I hope they can do and they probably can do,
Mm-hmm.
but the
Mm-hmm.
culture fit is going to be a huge thing. So I'm curious, how you bring people on, and your experience with that.
I think when people come on, come on the team, and like how I build culture immediately is like laying down like the foundational values of our company, like immediately. Like at Lost Coast Plastics, we want to reduce plastic waste. We're in this for the long run. We want to help put as many alternatives products on the shelf for consumers to have a choice. Sustainable soap or not sustainable soap, like sustainable toothbrush or not sustainable toothbrush. It's that very simple. So just like being simple upfront with anybody who comes on the team is, I think, the best thing you can do. Making promises that you can't really keep, or maybe making yourself sound more extravagant than you really are, is when you get in trouble because then you're over promising, and then maybe they'll come back in a little bit and then be like, "Oh, isn't really what Matt said this all was," and then they fizzle out. So being super upfront with them, telling them like, "Oh, hey, we try to meet every Tuesday, but we're a little disorganized. Like, come to our meetings. We're all over the place, but we get stuff done. We write notes. We have little recap meetings on Fridays.
a lot of things are kind of unorganized in the entrepreneurship world, as you know, and just being as much of a transparent bubble as you can with anybody who comes on is like the best thing you can do.
Yeah, 100%. I think, yeah, I mean, you touched on it. It's transparency is the key. You do, and
Transparency.
that's actually one thing I was trying to do, and I'm even going to do a little bit today is like write out the job descriptions. What do I really need? Where's the space for autonomy where they can kind
Hmm.
of like go and do their own thing, but where is like the line? Like what is the language I want to use? Like being super intentional about all of
Hmm.
that. It is a new process for me, but you learn from doing and you learn from leading and you learn from mistakes
Yeah.
as well. So I'm just,
Hmm.
what you don't learn from is not doing it and not jumping in and not
Hmm.
taking the steps. So
I
that's
think it's good
another
to
important thing
also,
to,
what was it? Like go through expectations at the very beginning too. So asking the person who you're hiring, like, what are your expectations for working for this job? And then, have them talk and then, tell your expectations. Well, my expectations for you working here is that, we work together on this and you'll be doing this and I'll be doing this, and actually verbaling your expectations for being a part of a project, I think is super helpful because then you can always refer back to those expectations, especially if you have them in writing. Like, what are your expectations of anybody coming to your job? That they're going to email you back, within a couple of days on time. They're going to, be part of the Zoom sessions. I mean, I'm sure you have a few concrete things like this is what you got to do. This is like the optional, like extra above and beyond stuff where you can do X, Y, and Z. But this over
right.
here is like the core foundation stuff, and that's important to highlight.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And I'm kind of like I'm starting to I want to build like a like kind of like an impact guidebook and hopefully I can have like an internal one for the team, like just make it on Canva. That
Oh,
people can kind of
yeah.
scroll through, look at values, like just know, kind of like a little handbook. And
Hmm.
eventually I want there to be one for like impact or members as well,
Yeah.
and mentors. So that's what
Hmm.
some of the stuff I'm trying to work on right now. And obviously, it seems like it should take like one day, but it does take some time to like
Yeah.
critically think and make it look nice. And so that's
Hmm.
some of the stuff that I'm really trying to lay down a solid foundation
Yeah.
because that way we can have a direction and that way we're not kind of, we know what house we're building.
Hmm.
So I think there's that. I know obviously there's going to be a lot of iteration, but I do think the more organized and structured you can be, and then you can
Hmm.
kind of like, it's like creativity. You got to have a structure within, otherwise you're just all over the place.
Yeah. Well, definitely. There's been
What,
more. Oh, what were you gonna
no, you
say?
go.
Oh, I was gonna
No,
say
you
there's
go.
been more companies started in the last 12 months than there ever has been in any previous 12 months before. Like sole proprietors and LLCs in the last 12 months in the United States has been the most ever. And I think that has to do with the pandemic, people being home, people wanting to make revenue in different ways and kind of being pressured to put food on the table in a lot of regards, I think. But that was an interesting statistic I heard. And I think it's, you know, partly parallel to why we're doing these top of the mornings is like definitely to help ourselves boost our confidence and, get refreshed with these business words and utilizing this language, but also is to help anybody watching and, encourage anybody out there to just do and start and be okay with failing and be okay with the hurdles and the red tape because there's so many cool businesses that you could start, even if it's a little Instagram account where you're making something out of wood or out of yarn or crocheting. Like there's so many cool ideas that people are doing now. So I just wanted to share that statistic because I was hyped. As an entrepreneur, I'm like, let's see them all. Let's all come up and together in ways that
Yeah,
we
no,
can't.
100%. That's actually what I just wrote about today was the start of my creator journey, and how honestly challenging it was the first year because like I kind of got made fun of a lot. Like the first comment I got back on, like I like put like it's 20, this is a new year, but I'm gonna start like making content or something like that is what I said. And then I got like, Justin, are you drunk? It's just, are you serious? And then I was kind of doing
Brutal.
the good morning, the positive thing, and it is is really challenging to step out from what you've been doing, right? And your
Hmm.
friends and people around you will kind of want to bring you back down to earth. Like it's just kind
Yeah.
of natural, and it is really kind of uncomfortable, to be honest. But
Hmm.
I'm almost 3 years later, I'm so glad I did it, and I've grown so much, and my reasons for wanting to create content have obviously changed and evolved, and I've changed and
Hmm.
evolved. But I'm if I had never started in 2019, I wouldn't be making content with Matt right now. So it is just
Hmm.
sometimes about kind of pushing through and starting, but having like a strong enough reason for why you want to start. Because if you want to
Hmm.
start if you want to get more likes and follows and comments, actually starting, to create content that you're passionate about sometimes is actually not the way to go if that's what you want. But if you want something else, if you want to like share a passion, whether it's entrepreneurship or about going within, like that's when the real magic happens.
Hmm. Totally. Yeah. Do you know anybody? Have you met any entrepreneurs in LA yet that are running any sort of business?
Honestly, a little bit here and there, but not really. I have this one buddy, he's a coworker of mine. He
Hmm.
has like a blog where he's like interviews like rappers and whatnot. So but he's paused for a while, so I'm trying to get him back on the grind.
Mm-hmm. I see. I imagine at some point you'll be meeting some people like you down there that are also like doing, part-time work or their job, but also like managing a business, whether it's like really small or, even medium. But I'm eager to hear about the connections you make down there because you definitely
Yeah.
will make them. You've only been there, a couple months, so.
Right. Yeah. And of course, yeah, it's going to take time. And also, the pandemic's been a little bit shaky recently.
Mhm.
And sometimes I just don't even know where to go. So I'm trying, I'm putting myself out there. And
Mhm.
also, it's patience, right? It took me
Patient.
like quite a couple years to really like start integrating and getting into Eugene. And it's it's kind of like building networks. Like you meet a couple people and then you start really,
Yeah.
so it just takes a few people to like meet a few more people, and then the ball keeps rolling.
Mhm. Mhm. Definitely.
But the entertainment industry is kind of the dominant industry here, so that's like what most people do is they're either in some sort of television or film, or it definitely like dominates the professional fields
Mm,
down here.
I see.
Yeah.
Entertainment. Like, yeah, I'm curious on what type of, if there's any type of entertainer that you could collab with. Like, do you see there being any type of collaboration with like a TikToker or
Yeah, we
somebody
could
who's,
keep collabing
you
with Tex.
yeah,
So
there you go.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I actually have been meeting a lot of, where I meet the most creators is on Twitter, actually. I had a
Mm.
conversation with someone yesterday. He's going to come to our conversation on Wednesday, and he joined the
Hey,
Impact group. So, it's just
sweet.
like here and there. And then I had another conversation with someone. She has a startup. He's going to come to our lunch and learn on Friday. For those of you listening, Matt's doing a lunch and learn. You can sign up in the Impact bio. I'm
That's
not
right.
sure. I sent Matt the link as well. So
Mhm.
you can literally just ask Matt questions about entrepreneurship, and it'll be a little even more engaging than this live.
Mhm. That's right. DM either one of us if you want to be part of lunch with Matt because I think it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be a good time, and the people that show up are going to get the best experience possible.
True that. And that's gonna be through Zoom.
Yep, yep, yeah.
Mhm.
Just 12 to 1 Pacific time on Friday.
Nice. That's so exciting. I love we're doing something new, and Impact is moving and grooving.
Yep, yep. We're trying to. I'm working with quite a few people right now, actually, on getting
Mhm.
workshops done and just providing as much value as possible. And it's free right now too. Like it's
It's all
literally, of
free.
course, time is money. Like I
Mhm.
would get your time is never free, but the dollar amount is free. Like it's an opportunity to really connect with and have
Mhm.
conversations with cool people and also learn and grow professionally. And what I'm really hoping for is to help people establish a lot of great habits and
Mhm.
foundations and knowing themselves in their 20s so they don't have to wait until 40 or 50 and have a midlife crisis to figure
Mhm.
themselves out. So I really believe in what we're doing. The team has got something going on, and
Mhm.
we're just going to keep moving and grooving.
Yes, I like that. And I think that what you're building is so important for anybody in their 20s. Anybody in the 20s has interests, they have hobbies, they have goals, and being around other 20-year-olds with, like-minded people who have goals and have interests and hobbies that might not be the exact same interests and hobbies. But me and Justin are both entrepreneurs, both have started businesses that are similar. We have similar values, but it's not exactly the same. And both of us
Right.
benefit anytime we talk about business because I hear your brain talk, you hear my brain talk. They're different brains, but when you say things, it makes me think differently. And being a part of a network is so useful for that reason. Somebody else will say something in a way that you've never said that before, and it'll make you think differently. So Lunch with Matt, support impact. There's a lot of good value you can get from being a young entrepreneur, go-getter. Got to find a network.
Right. And I think joining communities and learning from other people, especially that are a lot around you, are actually is a lot more valuable than all the I talked to my business advisor about he thinks the gurus are all gonna fall because they just give answers, give answers, give answers. But we're hoping to help people like facilitate
Mm-hmm.
kind of that inner dialogue, from
Mm-hmm.
dialogue with other people. But like you really got to start like going within to figure yourself out more so than like going and always reaching for these answers and advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Heck yeah, bro. Well, let's talk about a few things we're gonna do this week, and then we'll get on out of here. But besides Lunch with Matt on Friday at 12, and you can DM either one of us if you want that link. What do you got going on the rest of this week?
Yeah, I had a podcast interview yesterday. I have one today. Just have a couple more collaborations, conversations. I'm just meeting people. Also, if you want to, connect on Zoom, that's honestly a big thing. It's a big way I'm spending my time. And then also, I'm working on building impact structure foundationally. Working
Mm.
on engagement on Mighty Networks. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard getting people off of one platform to another. So
Yeah.
just gonna keep trying, keep doing new things. So what
Heck
about you?
yeah.
What you got going on?
What do I got going on this week? Spend some time with the family. There's a
Yeah,
couple of my OG homies in town that I'm gonna spend some time with this week.
nice.
So do some fostership with friends, some fostership with family, and got a lot of grading to do this week. And want to make a few TikTok videos and some Instagram videos like I've been doing. So kind of just maintain some of the momentum I've created the last couple of weeks. I think is kind of my weekly plan.
There you go, and spend quality time with the quality people, right?
Quality time and maintain the momentum you got. It's important. The important to
Momentum's
maintain.
huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like I have it
Hmm.
now, and it's nice because I lost the momentum for a couple of months, and
Yeah.
it can be kind of frustrating. But once you get that
Hmm.
momentum, it's like
Yeah.
flexing that muscle and keeping it
Yep.
flexed.
Yep. Keep the bicep going.
Keep the
Sweet,
biceps
bro.
going. All
Well,
right,
it's great
buddy.
talking to you. Have a good day,
Yes,
everybody.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a great day, y'all. And we'll see y'all on Tuesday. Would love to see y'all on Friday with at the Lunch and Learn.
That's right. And post some questions in our stories when we post that on Monday. Sweet. Have a
Yes,
good day,
sir.
y'all. Have a good day,
Cheers,
Justin.
Matt.
Peace, man. Cheers.